Hey everybody, welcome to American Courts. Today we got Judge Rosie out of San Antonio, Texas, dealing with a defendant with an attitude. She matches it and gets him back in line. Then we've got Judge Jeffrey Middleton out of Centerville, Michigan, dealing with a family affair, landlord-tenant. He'd probably rather be anywhere else. Then we've got Judge Simpson out of Ann Arbor, Michigan, dealing with a bond violation, and then a good heartwarming story there at the end. Make sure to check out their channels. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe and try to learn something. Remember that these are people and this is part of life for some.
Have you consented? Have you given your attorney, Ms. Portillo, and this court permission to go forward with your proceeding via video conference, also known as the Zoom app?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sanchez. Please sit back and stand by. We'll be back to talk to you, okay? Let's have the announcements from the attorneys for and on the record, please.
Jordan Sims for the state of Texas.
Pauline Portillo for Mr. Rosendo Sanchez. And Judge, I do have a potential witness and family member that was in another breakout room. I got her name. Right. I just don't think she knows how to come back into the main room. If we could somehow pull her back when the court has a chance.
Okay, we will. We'll bring her back in. Now, Ms. Portillo filed 3 motions for you, Mr. Sanchez. It's a motion to set bond on each of these cases. So I'm going to hear from Ms. Portillo first because she's the one asking the court to approach and to grant her motions. Once we hear from your lawyer, Mr. Sanchez, the court must allow equal access to the court from the state. So Mr. Sims may have something to add or inform the court of. Once I hear from everyone, Mr. Sanchez, and your attorney may call a witness as well. Once I hear from everyone, then the court will decide whether it's appropriate to grant 1, 2, or all 3 of your motions. It may not be appropriate, but I got to hear the evidence, Mr. Sanchez, and then we'll move forward from there. Okay? Ms. Portillo, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Judge. So Mr. Sanchez is currently.
Is that Ms. Sanchez that came on? She needs to be out until you call her, Ms. Portillo.
Sure.
I don't know who brought her. Yeah, whoever brought her in, she needs to stay out till. Thank you.
Okay, there she goes.
All right.
Okay. So Mr. Sanchez is remanded without bond on all 3 of these cases, Your Honor. It's an MTR case. He was placed on probation in your court about a year ago, and he's actually been doing just fine until a new offense was alleged that he was arrested on. It's a harassment case with one of the complainants from his probation case. That is in County Court 13, Impact Court. And he has a bond set on that. It's at $10,000. So I'm asking the court to set a bond on his MTR cases to give him the opportunity to bond out, because the MTRs really, the only thing that's alleged is this new number 1. And then along with that is the allegation that he had contact with the alleged complainant who also produced the new number 1. And so if you look at the original MTR, that's basically what it focuses on. Now there's a supplemental MTR that was filed about 3 days ago, not by his original probation officer, but by somebody else, alleging that he had not done BIP or completed BIP or worked towards completing BIP, and that he had a positive marijuana sample back in January. I have talked to his probation officer, who said that he has started the BIP program and he's actually almost done with it. She really hasn't had any issues with him at all. And his sample given in July was clean. So really, Your Honor, what we're just looking at is this new case. I did confer with Mr. Sims prior to today, asking if he would not oppose a $2,500 bond on each MTR. He said he was in agreement, Your Honor. So that's what we're asking from the court. And that's what, from talking to the family, I understand Mr. Sanchez can afford. And so if the court is not inclined to set bond at that amount, then I probably do need to take testimony from Ms. Sanchez regarding the family's financials to give the court a full picture of what we're dealing with here.
Are you retained or are you appointed, Ms. Portillo?
I am retained, Your Honor.
And state you're okay with the 2,500 until we hear his MTR?
Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor,
Yes, Marie.
can I give you some information?
You have to announce because you didn't announce and this was not an MTR.
I understand that, Your Honor, but this is Marie Martinez for probation. I'm
Yes,
the
ma'am.
one that did the supplemental MTR, Your Honor. There's some
Okay.
issues with this case, and the defendant was supposed to be on GPS. He has never been on GPS for probation. He was never referred to GPS. You ordered GPS. Also, he just registered for BIP. He was supposed to register within 30 days. He was placed on probation in October. He just registered for BIP with Optimal. And I also wanted to inform the court that the witness is also on probation. The witness for Ms. Portillo is also on probation, the mother of his child. And on September 30th, he was arrested at the probation department for 4 warrants, and he told his probation officer that if released, he would leave to Mexico. I have it in her notes, and I just read it.
Ms. Portillo, do you want to address that statement allegedly made by Mr. Sanchez?
Sure, can, Judge. So I wasn't there, so I can't really say for a fact whether or not that was said, but I
Well,
will.
let me say
I will-
something to you, Ms. Portillo. They're officers of the court, and unless you can give me a reason to not believe what that officer is conveying to the court, I'm going to believe it. That's why
Yeah,
I'm
of course,
asking for some
Uh,
comment.
Sure, and I'm not saying to disbelieve that at all, Your Honor. But Mr. Sanchez, he is a father of 4 minor children, all of which reside here in San Antonio. I will go ahead and give some limited information. I do represent him on a custody matter here as well, where he is pursuing full custody of those children who are under the custody of Ms. Sanchez's mother currently. And so I really do not feel that he really meant that comment, if such was said, because he has so much to lose here in San Antonio. He really cares about his children. He's a provider for them. He's always resided in San Antonio. And given that his family can't even afford anything more than a $2,500 bond on each case, I don't believe he has the means to go there. So at this
Would you
point,
agree that that
feel-
money would be better spent on feeding those kids than taking care of him for not, allegedly complying with his probation?
Of course, Judge, but I will also add that the probation officer said he had provided proof of employment. He's working hard to provide for these children, and he may have made some mistakes in the past. But at this point, he's really trying to better himself. He has a new apartment. He's making space for these children. He's working with the family and people who love these children to really come to a better family unit for these children. And so with that investment in mind, and what he's pursuing, I really do not feel that he's going to be engaged in any further crime, that including leaving the country or bail jumping, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Sims, I want to know from the state exactly what Mr. Sanchez's pending charges are. And what you've agreed to a $2,500 bond on each case. I have that. But I want to know, I need more information as to whether I'm going to approve that agreement or what else I'm going to do with this gentleman. I'm very concerned about the statement he made to probation. Go ahead, Mr. Sims.
Yes, Your Honor. His pending case is a harassment charge. And I would like to note that I conferred with defense counsel prior to knowing about his statements. And now being aware of that information, I would defer to the court on this matter.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Sanchez, more recently, a term has been used, but it pretty much translates into, I didn't just fall off turnip truck. I just didn't fall out of a coconut tree, Mr. Sanchez, into a space where I don't know what's going on. I practiced family law and child welfare law for almost 17 years. I was board certified, representing children out of families like yours, representing relatives like the ones that are taking care of your kids right now. And I'm not going to have you duplicate your behavior with your kids and imprint them with behavior that's led you to be before me now, with behavior that led to this motion to revoke to be filed. Your second chance was probation, Mr. Sanchez. And you're in here asking for a third, fourth, and fifth chance. No, I'm not going to hear from you. Keep your finger down. And I'm not going to hear from your witness. You've got a darn good attorney, and your behavior is compromising your case. She can't help the alleged facts in this case. because you came to her with that. She's professional, she's competent, she's ethical, and she knows what she's telling you. I was all of that as a lawyer, but I would lose my cases because of the behavior that my clients would engage in. She can be the best lawyer in town, and she's not going to be able to help you get your kids. Because if I was a judge on the civil side looking at your history, I wouldn't give you your kids. Put them at risk with someone like you and your history. So maybe you ought to kiss away those pipe dreams of taking care of your kids until you clean up your criminal matters. And then a judge can seriously look at you for placement. All 3 motions are denied today. Go think about what you've been doing, Mr. Sanchez. I remanded you without bond because you were already on probation for family violence. And then you go and you get charged with another family violence offense. Maybe it's because you didn't sign up for BIP and don't know what you're doing. You're going to wait, and we're going to hear your motion to revoke matter in the very near future, but I'm not releasing you today. Maybe that ought to teach you what to say and not say, not to mouth off to officers that you're going to split to Mexico. Because you know what, Mr. Sanchez? I believe them and I believe you. Because there's a saying, when somebody shows you who they are the first time, believe them. Don't wait for them to try and clean up what they screwed up a week or 2 ago by acting their true selves and expressing their true feelings. So no, I'm not going to allow you the latitude to cut that monitor off and leave to Mexico. Someone's taking care of your kids now. They can continue to take care of them. That's it. We're done. Everyone is excused.
I completely te acompaño, compadre, claro.
I told you not to say anything, so that just tells me you're not going to do what I tell you to do. You just proved me right, Mr. Sanchez.
No, no, tal vez.
Yeah, go ahead and mute him. He's done.
Morning.
Good morning.
Are you Teresa Bradley?
Yes, I am.
All right, very good. This is Judge Middleton. You're in the right place. We
Great.
have about 1 minute until we're set to begin. I saw that you'd practiced logging in. I appreciate that.
Yes, I've never done this before, and
Well,
I'm
some
not very
people
good at
practice
this stuff.
1 minute before it starts, but you're doing fine. I can see you and hear you, and your microphone is turned on, and Zoom wasn't a thing till a few years ago. Now it's ubiquitous.
Yeah. Very nice. I just worked all night, and just got home, so it's nice to be able to do it in your own home.
Yes, that is the upside of it. There's some downsides, but you won't have to drive to Centerville, and we can take care of our business here,
Yes.
which is a bit odd. All right, it is 8:30. I'm going to call this case.
Okay.
Titled Teresa Bradley versus Jessica Beal, Apartment A and Apartment B. Is this a duplex?
Yes, it is.
There is no lease. Is she related to you?
She's my daughter, and my 4 grandchildren also live there. It's a
I think she's
2-bedroom. Okay. It's a 2-bedroom, so it's very small for a mom and 4 children. She's actually in my kitchen, on her phone.
Oh, good. I didn't know if I was in the right room. I'm gonna go home.
All right.
Okay.
Are you Jessica Beal?
I am. Sorry, my Zoom isn't working on my mobile device.
All right, we'll make it work. You're the other Jessica Beal. It's spelled B-E-A-L.
Yeah.
This is a
That's
termination of
there.
tenancy case that the landlord, who's your mother, wants you to move. So I'm going to take a minute and tell you what your rights are as a tenant. I have to do this in each case, and which is all right. As a defendant in a termination of tenancy case, you have the following legal rights. You have the right to obtain representation, meaning counsel for this matter. If you cannot afford an attorney, a legal aid attorney may be available to help you, and she should be joining us here shortly. There is no court-appointed counsel in civil cases like landlord-tenant. You have a right to a trial by a jury or by the court. If you do demand a jury trial, you have to do it today or do it within 5 days in writing and pay the jury demand fee of $50 unless the judge waives it. You have a right to have your case heard here in St. Joseph County where the property is. This is not about paying rent. This is about moving. If you're able to reach an agreement with your landlord, meaning the case would be dismissed, we could help you prepare a conditional order of dismissal. And if both parties are interested, we could refer the matter to mediation for an attempted settlement. This is a family situation. I've had a number of these lately. I've probably had 25 or more of these this year, where grandmother, grandson, father, son, brother, there's no lease, they're living there, and the other party wants their property back. So Ms. Bradley, you're simply requesting that she move?
That's correct. And she's actually just found housing has come available. So that was a question that I also had. I don't want to mess up her ability to get this 3-bedroom apartment that is coming up. But should that fall through, I just wanted to, I didn't know what I should do. So that's why I was trying to do it this way. Just so there is that as well. So I think that we are getting somewhere.
Where's the apartment, Miss Beal? It's very hard to find. And there's a waiting list at Enchanted Glen and other places. Well, here's the story here. The law requires that I adjourn this at least 7 days, which would take us to next Friday, the 25th of October. Then you get 10 more days after that, which would take it to November 4th. So if you move, she can simply dismiss the case. But I think our safest bet for now is to adjourn this matter for 1 week.
Yeah, because I don't have they've only verbally promised me the apartment. I've been on this waiting list for 1 year. I have been desperately working to build a business while also living with chronic illness as a single mom of 4 children. And I am doing everything that I can do. There is no housing available. There is no way that I can go and work for someone else when I can charge $300 online as a best-selling author and a publisher and a life coach and a business strategist. But building a business takes time, and my mom is frustrated with that. I have given her money, copious thousands of dollars anytime that I have money. So I'm not in a hurry to move out. I'm fine with taking this to trial. I'm fine with buying as much time as I have to protect my children and I until I can find safe and affordable housing for myself and my family. Because the other option is that I'm living in my car.
Yes, and that's often the problem. The parents or grandparents or siblings aren't required to provide free housing to their kids. It's often a tough situation. Sometimes the family, they want to sell the house and they need to get the people out of there. And that's what this landlord-tenant, it's called summary proceedings, is about. Basically, it's the judge forces you to move out or the sheriff will do it. But I do feel your pain. Good morning, sir. Good morning. Let's just have a seat. Every week, twice a week, Monday and Friday, people tell me I would move out if I had somewhere to go to.
Right.
Particularly if you don't have any money. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to continue this to next Friday. Miss Bradley, the law requires this. It didn't used to, but when COVID hit, they changed all the rules. So you have to grant one at least 7-day adjournment. So I'm going to continue this to October 25th, 2024 at 10 a.m.
Okay.
For the second hearing. At that time, Ms. Beal, I would have to give you at least 10 days to move. And if you didn't move by that date, then the sheriff could come put you out. That's if your mother got what she asked for. Let me ask a couple of questions. Is this a duplex?
Yes.
Who's paying the utilities?
I am.
Well, actually, I'm paying the utilities, and then the utilities on her side weren't paid for, and the water pump is on that side. So
they were in my name though.
All right. So
and then I put it in my name. So they're both in my name. And right now she currently told me
But
that
I've
she
still been
can't pay
paying
for
it.
it.
Just a minute, only one person can talk at a time. So Teresa, you're paying the utilities?
Yes.
No,
Is
Mom,
there any
that's a
rent?
lie. You have never
All
paid
right.
my utilities in 3 years.
Jessica, I'm paying my
All right,
utilities.
Mom, you're lying.
Stop. I'm embarrassed for both of you. Jessica, you're gonna need to move out of your mother's house. That's just as way it is gonna be.
I know.
So I don't have a
I'm
better.
paying my utilities. I have proof that I'm paying my utilities.
Well, this is not about payment. It's about termination of tenancy. There is no lease. And the plaintiff gave you a notice to quit quite some time ago, back in July, saying that they wanted the property back. And they gave you until August and you didn't move, and then they filed this action. So this didn't just sneak up on everybody. It's been in the offing for a number of months. And this
Well, you asked who's
process.
paying the utilities and she just lied.
All right, well, all
And
right.
I
I
have
don't,
proof that I'm paying my utilities.
all right. Why don't you bring that with you next week?
Absolutely.
All right, at any rate, I guess I don't need to step on any more landmines. We're just gonna deal with this next Friday, October 25th at 10 a.m. And at that point, unless there's some other defense or something I don't know about, Ms. Beal, you're gonna have 10 days from that day to move. So we'll discuss this further next Friday. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Court calls case People versus Golam, is it Gambari?
Good morning, Assistant Public Defender Lauren Penny on behalf of Mr. Gambari. Mr. Gambari, please state your name for the record.
Golam Gambari.
We're here for a pretrial. Mr. Gambari also has a pending bond violation. I did get an updated report from Ms. Kerr today. Mr. Gambari is asking for an adjournment of the bond violation hearing. He did send out the test, and it did come back positive. However, he says around this time, he did a test at the hospital. He takes narcotics for his some medical conditions that are prescribed. They do drug testing consistently there to ensure that he is taking them in accordance with therapeutic processes. And he reports to me that he believes that test that was done at the hospital would come back negative. He just has not received those results yet.
When is that test?
He says that test was around the time of October 1st. Is that right?
Yes. So is he indicating there was a test that came back that the cocaine is a false positive?
He is.
Really?
He's saying that he did not consume cocaine, and he believes this other test will show.
So when that test was sent out, it came back positive.
Yes, they sent it for a review.
They sent it for a review and it came back positive for cocaine.
Correct.
So now there's this other test that we're supposed to get, but we don't have the results that are going to show what?
He believes a different result than the test that was done at community
A
correction.
different result, like no cocaine?
Correct. He denies, Your Honor, that he consumed any cocaine. He denies that he consumed any cocaine. He does have a list of medications that he also tested positive for opiates. He does have a list of medications that he provided both to community corrections and to me that do include prescriptions for opiates. I know the court is more concerned about the cocaine as there's no medical reason to consume cocaine. But again, I can only report to the court that he maintains that he didn't use cocaine and he wants to prove it to the court using this other blood test. we've spoken quite a bit about this, and he denies any use. He is asking that he not be remanded today. He again does want some more time. He has a
When
eviction.
was this blood test or this test at the hospital?
Oh, he was in the hospital around the time of October 1st. He has an after visit summary. He was at Trinity Health on October 1st at 10:30. On that date, he did testing. And saw his doctor for his medical needs.
And we don't have the test results back yet?
No.
When are they expected back?
Just give it time, I can get it back.
He says he just needs time. He
When are they expected back?
do you know when they're coming back?
I can get it today, tomorrow.
Pardon?
I can get it today.
So you could have gotten it yesterday and then had it here.
I didn't know that. I have to bring it.
He says he well, I don't get into that. But Your Honor, he does want me to tell you that he does have a hearing on his an eviction proceeding hearing today. He is concerned that he's going to be evicted if he is remanded at this time.
No lease, I have to sign in my lease, no eviction.
Where do you live?
And 2993 Cascade Drive.
In Ann Arbor.
Yes. And I have to sign in my new lease. I don't have no eviction.
He doesn't have an eviction hearing
You have to sign-
because they do those on Tuesday.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Today's Wednesday.
I misunderstood. He has to sign his new lease
Yeah, I
today.
have to sign in new lease. At the same time, I have to be on a court today at 2:30 for I'm victim and for the accident, my damage, my property.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. He is the alleged victim on another case at 2:30 today
I'm the victim.
Where?
for damage to his property. Wednesday, 2:30, before Judge Garwood, Magistrate Garwood. It is a small claim.
It's a small claims. It's a civil action. Okay.
So, Your Honor, again, he's asking for an adjournment.
But he could have had his
For more
test
time.
results. If you want me to wait for, he could have had him here today because he just has to get them from the hospital. But he didn't do that. And then he comes here in court to say that I'm going to see this miracle test saying that the cocaine wasn't there when we've already had two tests that say that the cocaine was there. Have I summed that up correctly?
Your Honor, I don't know if, I don't want to, this is my assumption is that Mr. Gambari was waiting to hear the results back from the sent out tests. Ms. Kerr did send up, I called her this morning and she said, oh, I didn't realize I had the results back. So perhaps he was waiting for those results to come back before getting the other tests because
Oh,
he maintains that he doesn't know where the cocaine is from.
okay. People.
Your Honor, this is an open dry second offense.
I know.
First offense is from 2018, and it involves a crash to a building.
You should, counsel, sign a release for you so you can get the test from the hospital. But at this point, the defendant's bond is revoked, defendant remanded to the jail. I'll adjourn this hearing to November 6, 2024, 9 a.m.
I'll come see you for the next
That's all the way.
I'll get this on their file. Very much. Good job.
Court calls the case People versus Michael Hartwell.
It's still around the application.
Oh, boy.
Okay, take your time. Take your time. Would it be easier for you to sit down?
Yeah, I would.
Okay,
I had a stroke,
okay.
Um,
Take your time.
the thing about it was, my mother was supposed to have took care of it.
Of this?
When I was in the hospital, and I didn't know if it was suspended.
Okay,
And then,
hold on,
oh,
hold on. We'll get to this. Okay.
Yeah.
What are we doing in this?
Yes, Your Honor, Assistant Public Defender Natalie Paywick on behalf of Mr. Hartwell. Is my right? We are asking your, Mr. Hartwell believes his license is currently valid, Your Honor, and we are asking if.
It is.
It is. Thank you. That he would like to take advantage of the potential offer made by Mr. Siller of double parking.
That is correct, Your Honor. Okay.
I thought they were gonna dismiss it because the license was not I paid for it. I thought they was gonna suspend it. I wanna fix it. I don't have no money to be given out. I just paid $200 and some dollars a week, a month. And then these supposed to be paying another $180. I don't have that money all the time.
Sorry.
Hang on a second.
Okay. Yeah, it's so I'll pay it. I don't have to I'm got money to pay off. All the time. I just moved up here, and I got a lot of things I have to take care of too.
All right.
Anyway,
Okay. God, I'm just gonna move to dismiss.
Pardon?
He's got a valid license. You confirmed it. I'm just
You're gonna move to dismiss?
I'm gonna move this.
Any objection?
Certainly no objection, Your Honor. Thank you. Thank you to both.
Sir, this case is dismissed.
thank you. I appreciate it. It's hard for me to get around. I have to have my vehicle because I can't. It had to come all the way down here to the last courtroom. I'm like, wow, I gotta make it down there. And it was hard for me to get.
But you know what?
But thank you.
I'm so glad you made it down.
Thank you. I was in the hospital for 6 months. I couldn't walk and I got up and I'm getting around now. But thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, have a good day.
You do the same.
Yeah.
And while I got to thank you, Mr. Siller, for that.
I got to make it all the way down this car. It's a long way. Yeah. There's no